Carl Jung, the eminent psychiatrist, psychologist, genius, stated that there is a very valid reason why people live to be over 50 years old, whereas, you know, back in the day, mostly they wouldn't. But these days, we're more sophisticated. We have more information at our disposal and more leisure time in which to do it. And in modern societies, we are assumed, got something to fucking for motherfucker. We're assumed to have the leisurely time to be able to do this stuff. But how many do? How many think by the time they've got to 50 that that's it now, they're resting? Or, you know, back in the day, I suppose you probably retire at 55. Now it's 67. Soon it'll be 70. They don't want you to retire. They want you dead, motherfuckers. They want you dead. And most of you will be dead by the time you're 67. So you are working perfectly in line with their requests. But for those of you that have got a little bit of zest for life, just a little bit, I don't get these people when it's just like, it's the tinnies, it's the backy, oh my backy mate, oh my tinnies, and then some shit food, and that's it, and you sit in front of the fucking idiot box and you watch your footy, and that's your life. That's your life, isn't it? And there's no aspirations, there's no dreams, there's no hopes, there's nothing. It's just that you've been gobbled up by your tinnies and your backy and your telly, and that's it. And you're just fucking happy you just don't have to go and work in the factory anymore. And so you don't want anything else from life, just your fucking tinnies and backy. Well, what's the equivalent for a woman? Someone who dotes on her grandchildren, I suppose. Somebody who lives for her grandchildren. She likes to be loved. She likes to feel needed. She likes to feel that she's got a purpose. And that's it. What about your own aspirations? What about all the places you haven't travelled to? What about all the lovers you haven't had? What about all the sports that you never engaged with? What about any of the adventures you've never been on? What about all that stuff? Most people don't, do they? And one of the reasons they don't, the main reason, is because by the time they've got to 50, they're so fucked, they're so out of shape, they've got all different sorts of illnesses and ailments, and riddled with arthritis and massively overweight and all that sort of stuff, that they feel as if they can't really even find the energy to go on holiday anywhere. In recent times, when I was in Gran Canaria, I saw old people, lots of them, and they start walking on the beach, and I don't know what enters their minds, how they have the audacity to think that they can do it when they've never even walked to the fucking shop back home. They just walk to the car and then out the car into the supermarket. That's all they ever do. But when you see these fuckers on the beach, and they are massive, they've got like calves like tree trunks, and boom, 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 and everything's fucking wobbling, and the earth is thundering, and they're sweating and wheezing, and you know, they've made it, bless their cotton socks, about a few hundred yards from the hotel, and they're walking away from the hotel still, and they're sweating and they're wheezing, and it's kind of like, wow, they're on the precipice of a heart attack, and yet they've got determination because they're on holiday and they're going to walk on the beach. and they've got the hats on to keep the sun off the pale white face, which is sweating profusely, and big rosy cheeks, and oh my goodness. I just used to look at them. I used to walk next to them, just like looking at them, just a little bit behind them, just hoping I was gonna experience one of them having a heart attack and going blue, and just see what the other fuckers would do around them. But that's the state of people. Why do people let themselves get into that state? Isn't it disgusting? How many of you now are in that state and you're looking at me, and if you was with me, you'd like to give me your peace of mind, and you'd like to say, well, it's my thyroid, or it's my arthritis, or it's my mentalism, it's all these things. How dare you say those things about people like me? And, yeah, you can write me a nasty letter if you like. You can write me a nasty comment. Right, that's a nasty comment. You can behave. Some people do have legitimate reasons as to why they can't do this or that, but most people, you see, when I was training to be a hypnotherapist, the teacher was talking about secondary gains, and the secondary gains of having illnesses which people play on. It's like, oh, it's my back, pet. Can you hoover the floor? Can you clean the toilet, pet? Oh, it's my back. I'd love to help you. Egg and chips tonight, please, love, yeah. Unless you want to go fish shop. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go. I'd love to come with you, pet, but yeah, it's my back. Flicking through the fucking remote, or staring at page 3 in the sun or the star. And that's it, isn't it? Secondary gain. Well, what's your gain? You don't have to do fuck all, because they're indoors will do it all. How many of you are like that? Complaining about your back or this, that and the other, when you don't do any exercise, you've never done any therapy, you've never been sufficiently interested to cut down on the beer and all the nasty ass food that you eat. You love it because, like, you know, most people, they love eating themselves into mobility carts. That's their biggest achievement in life, to see how young they can be to achieve the mobility cart status, where, you know, they are just wrote off by society, and their blubbers hanging over the arms of these mobility carts, and the mobility cart's got flat tyres and it's chugging along. Oh, don't you just feel sorry for mobility carts these days? I'm sure they're sentient in a way. And can you imagine the stinky ass that's sitting on you? You'd be like, what the fucking hell? And the farts that come out of it, or this big blubbering, festering cesspool of common shit farting on your face like that. Ooh, ooh. Wow. Yeah, how many of you viewers are looking in? Come on, you can tell me. You can write me nasty letters. You can do anything you want. How many of you take what I say as a little bit of a prompt to look at yourselves, stand in front of the mirror and go, yeah, thank you, Wake and Brave. I'm going to send you 50 quid, 100 quid, 500 quid, a grand. I'm going to send you a grand because I get all these fucking pensions and shit. I get so much money, can't even fucking spend it because I don't even leave the house because I'm lazy fucking feck. I just order everything from Sainsbury's and they deliver it. So yeah, you've got all that money in the bank. Well, send it along to the Wake and Brave. That's what you can do for giving you fleeting moment of inspiration, and maybe this inspiration will turn into the kernel of productivity, and then that kernel of productivity will turn into the manifestation of losing weight and getting stronger, and maybe educating yourselves, and maybe, God forbid, you're going on a little bit of an adventure and you say to yourself, if it wasn't for the Wake and Brave, I wouldn't be here today. And you'd be holding on to this post and you'd be wheezing and you're like, I'm not experienced Wake and Brave, but I'm getting fitter, and it's thanks to him. Thank you, Wake and Brave. Thank you for giving me that prompt. Oh, pass me that fucking walking fucking stool thing, that four-legged thing that people have. Pass me that. Yeah. all this sort of stuff. There's a guy who lives down below me, and he's just given up on life. And because he's starting to go blind and he's getting weaker, then he's scared to walk anymore. And I said, I don't see you walking out anymore, Rob, what's going on? I'm frightened because I'll fall over. And I said, well, you just walk around the fucking corner with your fucking 4 fucking legs on a stool, that thing to lean on, and sit in your deck chair like you used to last year. Oh yeah, but if I fall over, what if you do fall over, mate? You fucking fall over, you fall over. Oh, you maybe bump your head or your nose, what of it? What are you going to do? Stay in your fucking dull, dingy apartment for the rest of your life until you die, motherfucker. These fucking idiots. This fucking idiot. Because he's fit. He's fit if he falls over. I'm going to say to him, now get on your fucking hands and knees then, you cunt. Drag your deck chair behind you, get on your hands and fucking knees, drag it round the corner and lie in the sun, you twat. But no, he doesn't. And how many don't? How many just give up? I ain't never given up. I ain't never given up on nothing. I'm vacating this joint when I'm 93 years old, when I've seen it all. And there's been a nuclear holocaust and no fuckers alive in any case. And I've been the only survivor for 10 years and I'm like, nah, I think I'll go somewhere else now. I'm done here. Earth experience, it was great. I fucking loved it. I've seen the demise of the pink ape. Fucking hell, that's a sight to be seen. It's a sight for sore eyes, that is. Yeah. So, you know, it's the same old question I'm always asking you. Why do you watch my videos? What do you get out of them? Do they do anything for you? What is it that they're doing? Do they in actual fact prompt you into self-actualizing? Do you actually order any of the books that I read and talk about? Have you actually read my book? Will one day any of you, one person has, last time I looked, about a month ago, there was 140 sales and one person came and spoke about the whole book. Is there anyone out there that wants to speak about the book for 1 hour? Just a couple of little bits that you thought were quite good and useful? Or did it all just go in one fucking ear and out the other? And did you skip most of it because you thought it wasn't relevant to you? Well, all that stuff in that book was relevant to people who are on the awakening or enlightening path. And if you're not, you wasn't, then you didn't get through the book. I don't get it how you couldn't have got through the book. You know, there's loads and loads, which chock-a-block of fucking interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. And yet, how many of you have got anything to say about that? How many of you felt inspired? How many of you had questions and thought, I want to talk to him about this? About all the spiritual experiences, the fantastic, awesome, fucking cosmological experiences I've had, all the entheogenic, psychedelic experiences, the out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, fucking all different sorts of stuff. A whole array of stuff's in there. But not only that, there's some really, really, really powerful stuff from our forebears. People that were super, super renowned, that went before us. And you can read a few pages and you can take some of the most powerful things they ever said, which are monumental to the human being. And when I've spoken to a couple of people who've read the book, I say, do you remember this bit? Do you remember that bit? No. Didn't mean anything, did it? People, they don't have the constitution for remembering. Most people can't remember. Most people do not remember anything when they read the words. They've got no intention to remember anything. They just think that reading is just internally verbalizing the words. And you don't have to make anything from it. You don't have to take anything from it. You don't have to remember any of it. You just have to look at the word. I know what that word means. The cat sat on the mat. The dog chewed on the bone. I know those things. And that's where it ends, innit? You know, I'd love to hear from some of you people that are in actual fact intelligent, and you could write to me a little bit of an email telling me that you've got a fucking PhD in nuclear physics or fucking endocrinology or some fucking thing, and that, you know, you've got 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 books on your bookshelf, and, you know, you could fucking run rings around me in a conversation about all that fucking stuff, and I'll go, well, fucking hell, bring it on, bring it on. I'd love to talk to you, I really would. But, you know, I've seen a few of your bookshelves. Some of you bought my book and then you've put it on your bookshelves, along with your book collection of about 10 books. And I'm like, you know, and these people have been like 50 years old. I'm like, wow. Yeah, what can you say about that? What do you say if you don't take time in your life to read? There's so much information out there, and if you read it from the books, then you get to greater depth. You know, the average book, let's say it's going to take you 7 hours to read. If it's like 250 pages, something like that. And so 7 hours is 7 hour-long videos, isn't it? Just on one subject. And so you get the beginning, the intermediary, and then you get the end, and you'll be able to retain something because you've got the whole picture. Whereby if you go on YouTube and you just click on a video that's in your feed and you listen to that for half an hour, and what have you gleaned from it? What have you took from it? I guarantee you've took nothing. I guarantee you've took nothing. Because if you're going to be taking anything from any of these videos, you've really got to contemplate, and you've got to find this psychological space where you are going to be open to absorbing and storing that information. Because if you're not, if you're just looking at it and you're having a cup of tea and you're talking to him or her indoors, and you know, you're stroking the cat and then you're scratching your arse, well, nothing's going in, is it? Nothing's going in, people. And that's why you guys never have anything to say about any of my videos, because seemingly they're too beyond the scope of your cognition, intelligence, consciousness. How many people have ever said that, wow, that was a fucking powerful video? That fucking touched something inside. I don't know what it was. It's like my conscious G-spot. Aaron, you just fingered my conscious G-spot. And I just fucking came all over that video. How many people have said that? Don't get me wrong, there's been a few. But in all these years I've been doing it. And, you know, I go away for 2 weeks. And then I come back. And then I look at the comments and I just remind myself why I don't really give a fuck if I put up any more videos. What am I getting? What am I getting? What's inspiring me? What's intriguing me? I mean, I don't want to take everything away from all of you, because there are, let's say, 1 in 100 that puts something down that they've thought about. And, you know, in my ideal world, the comment section would be filled with pensive comments like that. And they don't necessarily have to be directed at me. They can be directed at the video. And then people who read the comments will read your perspective and then put their perspective down. Maybe engage with you in the comments like that sort of thing. It doesn't have to be to my attention, to the attention of the awakened brave. No, you just put your thoughts down, and you know, writing your thoughts often gives people the space to think about what they're actually saying. Yeah, is it because people are just too busy these days? Is it because they can't be bothered? Is it because the subject matter doesn't seem to be touching you in your lives? Because, you know, if I'm saying that, you know, I'm in this space and it's the King God and it's the space of self-realization and I'm in ecstasy, well, how many people can relate to that? I would think none of you. I mean, 1, 2, maybe out of, like, say, 500 can relate to that. And, you know, so what do I want really? What do I expect? When the vast majority of you are up in the morning, out the door, and your day's full of all that tedious shit. And then you come home, and if you're lucky, you've got an hour on the internet. And you're too tired, you're too exhausted, you're too preoccupied to actually absorb anything. And you're most certainly fucking not inclined to start putting your fingers on the keyboard because you've been doing that shit all day long at office. And, you know, you can look at me walking around in the sunshine. How many videos have you seen me standing here under the sun with a gentle breeze in my shorts and my vest and just telling you that, you know, there is a place that you can find within your consciousness on the world, and it's a state of ecstasy, it's a state of spiritual enlightenment, it's a state of spiritual awakening, it's a state of emancipation and freedom and joy. There's these places that you can find. How many of you even ever contemplate that because it's so far flung from the life that you live in? This is the thing, isn't it? And you've got all that different sorts of stuff to do. Yeah. And so, self-actualising. How many of you self-actualise? I mean, in recent times, I noticed that my teeth were getting brown. And I think it was because of the Guinness I was drinking. And so I stopped drinking Guinness. And I don't hardly drink at all these days, but I thought, oh fuck, well, let's do something about that. So then I got the appropriate whiteners, and that did the job to a degree. But then it appears that there is staining between the teeth where invariably your brush doesn't get. Even though I'm very, very thorough with my teeth cleaner, I clean my teeth like 4 times a day. But the staining, and so I've arranged to have this supersonic air wash cleaning, cost 80 quid, and I'm going to have that done on the 20th to see if they can tidy them up a bit more. Then of course I'm making massive modifications to my diet, increasing my energy output with my exercise, constantly pushing ahead with my singing and guitar playing, and always reading. You know, every day I'll read. As soon as I get up in the morning, I have a cup of coffee and I'll read for an hour, and then often in the churchyard I'll read for another hour. And then watching videos that I have actually decided I want to watch. I don't just turn on the computer, people, and then just watch whatever's in my feed like a zombie and just stare at shit. No, when I think about stuff during the daytime, about certain authors or people, you know, that have done things in this life, then I will look them up, and then I will order the books, and I will listen to audio books, or I'll listen to documentaries or things like that speaking about them, and all different sorts of therapy, and I'm always educating myself. I watch Netflix about once every 6 months. I just don't waste my time like that. Every single video I watch is for my education. And so in that respect, I am like the fucking Terminator. And there's not too many people that's going to be competing with me, because I've been this Terminator sort of guy all my life. And in everything I do, I'm the fucking Terminator. I never stop. And so because I've always known that I'm always going to be needing this body and the energy efficiency of the body, then I ensure that it's in the best tip-top shape. When your body's in great shape, then your mind invariably is in great shape. And when your mind and body's in great shape, your life is in great shape. And then when your life is in great shape, well, you are living the best possible version of yourselves. How many people give up? How many people don't do that? How many people are just too lazy? How many of you guys have got very bad teeth? You know, I've known people in my life that they'd be so hurt. How you doing? If I mentioned their stinky breath or their bad teeth hygiene, and you know, to the point whereby I'd have to stop seeing them. You know, being in the car with these people, you know, was bad. But if you mention to them about that, then they'd find it so devastating, because it appears that nobody's ever mentioned it to them before. Their parents never ever brought them a toothbrush. Their parents never instructed them how to clean their teeth. Their parents never gave a fuck. There were kids in my village when we was growing up. You see, my old man, when we was in the family, none of us were allowed to go downstairs for breakfast until we'd washed our faces, cleaned our teeth, and wet and styled our hair, and were fully dressed as if presenting ourselves to school. Or if it was on a weekend, then when we go out, we weren't allowed to go downstairs with stinking breath and bogies in our eyes and in our fucking pajamas and all that sort of shit. No. It was like a proper fucking army camp, for very good reasons. There was lots of us, and there needed to be order. And so throughout the years, we all had conditioning, and we just knew how to clean our teeth. We knew the importance of cleaning our teeth. And we got into the habit of cleaning our teeth. And so cleaning our teeth then for the rest of our lives was water off a duck's back. It's just something we instinctively done. But if you weren't taught by your parents, then you never had that. And you don't have awareness about your bad breath or your stinking teeth or your brown teeth or rotten teeth or all this sort of thing. Because unless someone really shockingly brings it to your attention, you're not going to have awareness. And then it's going to be so painful, you're going to bury it if they did. There was a couple of lads in our village, and they were brought up by a single mother, single parent. And because the old man weren't there to bring about discipline, then they were pretty unruly. And they never even had toothbrushes. And when me and my brother used to go around their house and we go to the toilet, we would notice that there were no toothbrushes in the bathroom. So the mother didn't have one, and so therefore the kids didn't have one. They never cleaned their teeth. And you know, the mate we used to hang around with, where his lips came down, the teeth were, you know, much cleaner above there. But down below, there was a huge thick tide mark across the middle of the teeth, and all below were all brown and discoloured and all shit in the gaps. And so we actually went and bought him a fucking toothbrush and came round his house with some toothpaste and took him into the bathroom and showed him how to clean his teeth. And he was scrubbing it like he was a fucking retard. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And he got a little bit of the shit off, but they're too far gone. But this is it. How many of you are like that? And one viewer says something. You know, I did this teeth whitening video, and he said, "Oh, off topic, because I'm not interested in your white teeth, but blah blah blah." And I'm assuming, well, you're a drinker, you're a smoker, you've never been interested in your own white teeth. And the hygiene and the health and all those sort of things. Have you ever been conscious of bad breath? Those sort of, how does that work with a partner? I don't know how that works. It's very bizarre to me, but it takes all sorts. I suppose you just meet a partner who was never introduced to cleaning their teeth, and then you're both like pigs in shit, aren't you? And then by the time you're fucking 30, all your teeth will be falling out, and it's fucking great. It's on Ghidorah, because neither of you even notice. Self-actualising people. You know, meticulous care to everything. I mean, I always show people that my fingernails are always meticulously cut like that. And even though you think that, you know, this is a fucking viper's nest, this takes an enormous amount of care. Um, it took an enormous amount of training to go into these dreads, and then you have to feed the smaller wayward hairs back into it, and then you have to trim some off and cut some off, and you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I'm going to be doing something very shortly that's going to be really transitioning all this, because I've been letting all these hairs grow longer in between so I can make some more smaller locks. And every now and again you have to have you know, the hair between the dreads. If it's long enough and thick enough and there's enough hairs, then you create a new dread. If not, you try to marry up the one surrounding the dread with the dread. And so there's going to be stuff going on there. And then I'm at speech therapy. I went to see a throat specialist to see if there's anything wrong with my throat, as you know, which I could remedy, which would help me improve my singing. They said that my throat was perfect, no problem at all. So then I was referred to a speech therapist, and now I'm going to a speech therapist, and I've had one session and I've got 6 more. And speaking about tension in the neck and in the throat and in the jaw and breathing and all things to do with speech. So I'm doing that because I'm exceedingly desirous to improve my singing. And of course, almost every single day I'm singing for about 2 or 3 hours. I'm absolutely relentless, all the things I want to do. And I can't imagine ever working again because I am busy 24 hours a day. And in one of my therapy sessions, I told my therapist that I said to myself many years ago, if my vocation ever got in the way of my self-actualizing, then the vocation will be dropped, like dropping a stone. And I got myself into business pretty deep when I created my business, and in the last year I really became a prisoner of it, and so I decided I'm out. And so it took me a year to wind it down and find a buyer and sell all my properties and all that, and then I took all my money and I went to Bulgaria to start a new business venture there. And then I was free again, absolutely free, whereby when I was running my business with 20 staff, I was all over the place and always had so many things to do. And yeah, it kept me very, very tense and stressed. I suppose it was one of the main reasons for the demise of my marriage. Yeah, never had time for anything except quick rushing to go to the gym, because I was earning a lot of money and owning a lot of properties and doing a lot of stuff. And it's kind of like, well, you know, it began to control me. And I was like, I'm supposed to be the boss here. I'm supposed to be the fucking boss of this business. But it's like the tail wagging the dog. You know, I realized that I was a slave to the business. The business was the thing that I created. The business became autonomous. The business was very egregoric. It was an entity unto itself, and there was like 20 or 25 people depending on the business. And, you know, I was one of them, and yeah, it got too much, people. But yeah, we have to be careful when we are busy, chasing paper and chasing dreams, because you think when you're driving to and from work in a nice car that you're accomplished. Well, if you really were accomplished, you wouldn't be driving to and from work. You'd be driving that beautiful car to all different sorts of interesting places all around wherever you live, and you'd be staying in hotels and camping, and you'd be enjoying your success instead of being a slave to it. And so just because you've bought nice houses and got nice cars, that's no indication of success. No, if you have a pure, unadulterated, peaceful mind, that's success, people. And who's got that and the business? Nobody. And so I decided, well, I know what I want. I want the cosmos. I want joy. I want peace. I want love. I want emancipation. I want cosmic God consciousness. And so I relinquished everything else. And now I have that. And I'm telling you now, people, I wouldn't swap it for the world. Just standing in the sun, making videos, speaking my thoughts with a beautiful, calm disposition and a super fit, healthy body. And no pressing engagements. I can just go and do whatever I want to do. And it's the most wonderful and beautiful thing. And so now I'm going to grab my bottle of beer. I'm going to grab my Jungian book, Answer to Job, and I'm going to go in that churchyard and I'm going to take this shirt off and I'm going to get barefooted and I'm going to have a fucking nice time. And I might even take a little bit of DMT. That's living, people.